August 24th, 1975, on a hot summer day at a hospital that had birthed thousands of babies, I was born. Not only was I born on this day, I came with a strong sense of intuition that would shape the way I navigated my life, my choices, and most importantly, my boundaries. Now, I have no way to confirm this, but I'm fairly confident that when I came into this world on that day, I knew I wouldn't be bringing another person into it myself. To this day, when I hear a child cry, it physically hurts me. I'm an extreme empath, therefore my heart, it breaks. Babysitting, hated it when I was young. My parents, they were always so stressed, trying to run a business, raise me and my sisters, find time to hang out with their friends, or just take a nap. I wish I could stand here and say that I had this aha moment that helped me decide that I didn't want children, but it's just not the case. I simply had more moments than fingers to count on, before the age of 13, mind you, that confirmed what I knew in my gut. I didn't want children. Now, when I was young, and I would say this out loud, I was typically glossed over and met with, "Oh, you're too young to know." Or, "When you meet the right person, you'll change your mind." But once I reached my 20s, the now socially accepted age to start having children, that response changed. I was no longer dismissed. Instead, I was judged. "Oh, you must be selfish." Now, as the receiver of this message, which stopped in my 40s, because of course now I'm old, I was always shocked, puzzled. Why was I selfish for not wanting children? Was it because in addition to what I knew in my core, which is what we want more women to lean into, follow your gut, I was watching my parents, their friends, struggling to be an individual, to be a spouse, on top of being a parent. And it made me thoughtfully ask myself, do I have what it takes to be multiple people at one time? Or was I selfish because, again, in addition to my gut feeling, I saw friends, strangers, neglected by their own families, and once again, thoughtfully asked myself, do I have the ability to be as committed as I need to be in order to remove all, or in order to escape all sacrifices, to be a good parent? Now, let me be clear, this is not a PSA to discourage anyone from having children. I do love them, sometimes. It's about what I've learned from being called selfish over decades and decades of my life, and it's this. Those who were labeling me and judging me, they were missing the point. I wasn't overly obsessed with myself with no care or concern for others. It was the exact opposite. I recognized that I had a responsibility to others and to myself, and that if I wasn't able to overcome my own limitations and flaws, the negative impact on another person would be too great to ignore. I wasn't being selfish. I was simply self-aware. You know, the word selfish, it gets thrown around a lot, and I'd argue it's often taken out of context. You see, at its core, it's about self. And although we tend to focus on it from a negative, there's a positive side we rarely talk about, especially when it comes to women, because we're taught to put ourselves second, third, or last. Which is why I believe that being selfish in the positive sense is an extremely powerful form of boundary setting. Because when you put yourself first, your needs, your desires, you're not discounting others. You're protecting what you know is best for yourself so that you can show up for others from a place of care. Which, make no mistake, will not be easy, and it will come with challenges, even making you second guess yourself. That happened to me in my mid-30s when I found myself heavily questioning my childless decision. Maybe I am selfish, I said to myself. We'll have our kids at the same time and do it together, said my sister. We'll be there to support you, I was reminded by my mother. Maybe I can do this, I said to myself. But once I paused, reflected, and was able to really hone into what I knew at my core, I was able to see that social norms were at play. And then I could stand confident in my decision and communicate it with others. It's those three things: self-awareness, trying to determine what social norms might be at play, and then confidently communicating a decision is what I stand for, is what I lean into every time I'm at the muddy crossroads of a selfish decision or a boundary in disguise. As a result, I've been able to live a life I want, not the one others want for me, which is what I want for you. Therefore, the next time someone calls you selfish, I want you to pause, reflect, and ask yourself, am I? Or am I simply expressing my boundaries in order to protect what I know is best for me? Because the truth is, boundaries, they're the foundation of love, care, and respect, not just for ourselves, but for others. With that, I'd like to invite you to go forth and be selfish. Thank you.